Good morning, I am Kiran Raj. Welcome to the online classes on data structure. Today we will discuss about the second chapter, sorting and searching. In this chapter, today we will take up the topic of sorting and bubble sorting. Introduction to sorting. Operation of rearranging the elements of list of numbers or file of records in an order is called as sorting. Here we mentioned about arranging order. The arranging order, it can be ascending order or descending order, or it can be alphabetical order. You can arrange either the list of numbers or files or the records in the files using key, or you can also arrange the alphanumeric values also. Bubble sort, the simplest algorithm that works by repeatedly swapping adjacent elements if they are in wrong order. So you are going to swap the adjacent element. What do you mean by adjacent elements? Next element is the adjacent element. So you are going to swap it. Swap it means you are going to exchange the values. The pass through the list is repeated until the list is sorted. Here we are mentioning pass, but what do you mean by pass? You are trying to visit or traverse every element or part of the elements in the array or in the list is called as pass. So you are going to pass the list once, that means you are going to visit every elements once, that is pass 1. And during that time in the pass 1, the largest element will be bubbled out. Bubbled out means it will be popped out to be last element. Okay. Then in the next pass you are going to visit every elements in the list again except the bubbled one. Okay. Now in the second pass you are going to bubble out or you are going to push the second largest element outside. And in the third pass, that is again you are traversing every elements in the list and you are swapping there or you are making some operation and you are popping out or bubbling out or pushing out the third largest element out of the list. So these are the passes. So since in every passes you are going to bubble one element, one largest element outside, that is why it is called as bubble sort. Now I already mentioned one pass, one element is popped out. Second pass, second element is popped out. So how many passes are required? When you are doing bubble sort, we are going to require n minus 1 passes. For example, if I am having 8 elements, then I am going to require 7 passes. And when I am sorting, I will be considering that my list is of two categories. One is sorted category and another one is unsorted category. All the bubbled elements or all the bubbled items are belonging to sorted category and other part is the unsorted category. I have these numbers. Let us consider the first pass. So in the first pass, I am going to check the value of 32 and 51, that is 51 is adjacent to 32, and I will check that whether they are, and I will check that whether the first element is smaller or greater. If it is greater, I have to exchange them. But if it is not greater, then I will keep it as it is. Yeah, it is not greater, so I will keep as it is. In the next step, I will check 51 and the 27. 27 is the smallest one, so I am going to exchange them. Okay. 51 and 85, no need to exchange since 51 is the smallest. But 85 and 66, I have to exchange them because 66 is the smallest one. Okay. So now the largest element in the list is bubbled out. So it will come outside in the pass 1. So in the pass 2, when I am going to pass 2, I need not check the 85. Why? Because it is in the sorted part, and 32, 27, 51, 66, 23, 13 and 57 belongs to the unsorted category. At the beginning, everyone or every elements was present in the unsorted category. Now 85 came to the sorted category. So I need not compare with the 85. So I'll again go there. 27 and 32. So I'm comparing 32 and 27. 32 is the largest one. So I'm going to exchange them. So 27 and 32. And 32 and 51 I need not exchange. 51 and 66 I need not exchange. But 66 and 23 I have to exchange them. Again 66 and 13 I have to exchange. And 66 and the 57 I have to exchange. Now in the second pass again 66 is bubbled out now. I will not check 66 and 85 because already in the first pass I came to know that 85 is the largest element and I have popped it outside. So in the second part I will be 66 and the 85 will be in the sorted part. In the third pass, I will come to know the 57 is the third largest one. So in the fourth pass, I will not check the 57 also. So I will not check 3 elements. Okay. And in the fifth pass, again, I will be doing the same thing. Sixth pass. And this is the seventh pass. In the seventh pass, I am only comparing 13 and 23. So 23 is the again largest one compared to the 13. So it will be bubbled out. And the thing is, now 23 also belongs to the sorted part. In the next one, I'll be only having 13 as my unsorted one, right? So only one component is there. I need not compare it with anyone. So I'll not pass them. Okay. So if you see here, I have 8 elements are there, and in the 8 elements, I'm going to have 7 passes. So if I'm having n elements, then I'm going to have n minus 1 passes. And if you see here, in the passes also, if I'm having 8 elements that is used for the pass, then I'm going to have the 7 comparison. Check here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the second pass, I'm not going to have the 85 for the comparison. So I'm going to have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. That means how many comparison will be there? I'm going to have only 6 comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the third pass also same manner. I'm going to have only 6 elements. So I'm going to have 5 comparisons. Now let us go for the algorithm. Algorithm 4.4, that is the number that we have given. You can change the number, no problem. But it is a 4th algorithm in your 4th chapter. Bubble sort. So bubble, data, comma, n, where data represents the list and n represents the number of elements. Here data is an array with n elements, that is, data is an list with n elements, and this algorithm sorts the elements in the data. Now let us write the algorithm. Let us first check this one. What I am going to do, I am going to, in every pass I am going to exchange them, right? If the first one is greater one, then I am going to exchange that with the second one, right? So I'll write that first. If data, and let me consider PTR for the index value. If data of PTR is greater than data PTR plus 1, then I have to interchange them. Then interchange, or you can write swap data of PTR with what? And data PTR plus 1. So if I am considering this is data and I am using PTR to represent them, I am checking whether the data of PTR is greater than data of PTR plus 1. If it is true, then I am going to exchange them. For example, 51 and 27. 51, if 2 is my PTR, that is 51, then 2 plus 1 is 3, that is 27. So I am checking that if data of PTR is greater than 27. Yes, data of PTR is greater. Then what I have to do? Then I am going to exchange them. I am going to exchange them. So that is why I have written interchange. End of if structure. Okay. Now, if you see here, what will be my next step? If my PTR was this one, 32, that is 1 is my PTR, in the next step, I have to jump into 51. Then in the next step, I have to jump into 27, right? So PTR is getting incremented by what? PTR is incrementing by 1. So I'll do that. Set PTR is equal to PTR plus 1. So in the first step, PTR will be 1. In the next step, PTR will be 2. In the third step, PTR will be 3. In the fourth step, PTR will be 5. This is only done for 2 elements, right? But I have to do it for all the elements in the list. So comparison should be done for all the elements in the list. In the first pass, it will be done for all the elements. In the second pass, it will be done for all the elements except the already bubbled out element. In the third pass, it will be again done to the every elements excluded 2 elements which have been bubbled out, right? So I'll do that. Repeat while PTR is lesser than or equal to n minus k. Here k represents number of passes. K represents number of passes. And what is this one? PTR. PTR is index. So let us come for here again. In the first pass, k value is 1. So how many comparison you should have? You should have 6 comparison, right? Sorry, 7 comparison because I am having 8 elements. In the first pass, I should have the 8 elements. That means 7 comparisons, right? So PTR is equal to or PTR is lesser than or equal to n minus k. In first pass, k value will be 1. So n minus k 7, right? So you are going to use PTR is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Why I am not doing PTR lesser than or equal to n? Because in the next step I have written that if data of PTR is checked with data of PTR plus 1. So if I am using this one also, then what will be happening? I will be not having PTR plus 1. 9th element is not present, right? So if I am only taking 7 elements, then I can have the 8th element. But if I am taking the consideration of 8th element for the PTR also, then I have to have the 9th element that is not there with me. So I will be making it n minus k. In the next step, that is in the second pass, I am going with the n minus k again. That means 8 minus 2. 8 minus 2 means 6. So 13 is the sixth element. So 13 and 57 will be compared. Right? If I am not doing that, then what will happen? 57 will be compared with the 85 also. But 85 is already sorted. No need of comparing again. Right? So I am making sixth element. While coming to here, I will be having fifth element with the sixth element. But I will be not considering sixth element because I should have the seventh element also for the next comparison. But I need not compare the seventh element since it is already sorted. Okay, so I am making while PTR lesser than or equal to n minus k. So this is for the executing one pass, single pass. After this is completed, now the PTR got incremented, right? So now PTR will be 2. 2 is lesser than n minus k. Okay, so it will be continued. But I have to set to the PTR value also, right? So set PTR is equal to 1. At the beginning, I have to set it for the PTR value. So I'll initialize. So 1 is lesser than 7. So it will execute. Again, next PTR got incremented. 2 lesser than 7, 3 lesser than 7, 4 lesser than 7. Like that it will continue. So here, if statement belongs to the while. And PTR, incrementing of the PTR also belongs to while. So I'll make them some name, a point. So let me repeat A to B while PTR is lesser than or equal to n minus k. But I have missed, now I have written the algorithm for only this part, only for single pass, this one. Or I have written it for only this part, or I have written it for only this part. I have written only the algorithm for the pass, not for the complete thing, right? How many passes are required? For example, if I'm having 8 elements, then I'm going to require n minus 1 pass. If I'm having 6 elements, then I'm going to require n minus 1, that is 5 passes, right? I have not written that. How many times these steps should be repeated, right? So let me consider that is, I already mentioned k is for the number of passes. So let me have that repeat for k is equal to 1 to n minus 1. Okay, so till that it should be repeated. End of inner loop. This will be end of step 1 outer loop. Last one will be exit. Now I'll mark the steps. So this will be step 1, step 2, and let this be step 3. I already named them A and B, so I'll not name it again, but this one is step 4. In programming, your array follows zero based indexing. So instead of k or other things, I'll use I. I can write for I is equal to 0, I lesser than or equal to n minus 2, I plus plus. Why I is lesser than or equal to n minus 2? Because it is going to start with 0, right? So n minus 1, so that means n minus 2. And inside that you can have ptr is equal to 0, because again 0 based indexing. While coming to while loop, while, or I can write, if I am considering this is j is equal to 0 while j lesser than or equal to n minus I minus 1. Then I can make data of j greater than, if data of j is greater than data of j plus 1. If that is the case, then I will be using the temporary variable. So temp is equal to data of j is equal to data of j plus 1, data of j plus 1 is equal to temp. I will be using that for the exchange. Then I can write j is equal to j plus 1. But let us say that you feel that while loop is difficult, then I can make use of for loop also. I can make use of for loop for the outer loop also and for the inner loop also. If you want to make use of for loop, then how to do that? For I is equal to 0, I lesser than or equal to n minus 2, I plus plus. Then directly go for the inner for loop. For j is equal to 0, j lesser than or equal to n minus I minus 1. Then if data of j is greater than data of j plus 1, then the same thing will be repeated. But you need not increment the j here again, because it is already incremented with the for loop. Then last step is exit. So in programming you have to display that, right? So before that you have to take the input for the array also. So repeat steps here, steps 2 and step 3. So this is my algorithm. Thank you.